With the latest episode of Apothecary Diaries, it would not surprise me if they just kind of revealed that Maomao was like isekai to this world. She's so smart and so intelligent that it's almost as if she was someone from the future that went back to the past. That is how intelligent she is, and kind of out of place in this world that they are in. That's not the case. Here, Maomao essentially was able to introduce fingerprinting, which I'll be honest, I don't know when fingerprinting itself was invented, but she, of course, this is a work of fiction, if you will. And she's just like, oh yes, silver bowl, no worries, I got something. And literally fingerprints the bowl to be like, all right, who are our perpetrators? And after fingerprinting the silver bowl, we're able to realize that 4 different people touched the bowl. 2 of them, of course, are the ones that prepare it and such. 1 is the girl that swapped the bowl, and then the 4th one would be the one that poisoned it. But by this, Mama was able to surmise and rule out that the taste tester that swapped the bowl was not the one that actually did the poisoning. Which it seemed like, what I got from last episode, that she was kind of inferring that maybe she had some involvement with it. And I know I did read the comments from you guys, and a lot of you didn't feel it was like that maybe she just didn't know. And honestly, from that one episode alone, we couldn't really tell whether or not the taste tester was behind it or was not. It was kind of hit or miss. But through this episode, it seems to me that 1, we can rule her out and that she didn't actually know. But it seems like Maomao realized that, oh, she actually didn't know by the expression that Maomao showed in this episode right after she fingerprinted it. Now the case is Gaoshun essentially is coming to Maomao for some speculation and thoughts and trying to get more into the investigation as far as the whole poisoning and everything. And Maomao was able to share her thoughts and feelings as far as for the younger concubine and how pretty much her ladies in waiting are bullying her. Which I wish it actually showed a little bit more in this episode about that, like why they're bullying her. Now, Maomao did explain why the possibility that she's being bullied and such, but I honestly wanted to delve more into that story. We know that whatever food that was actually poisoned technically was supposed to go to the youngest concubine, but then it got swapped and went to Maomao, and so Maomao was able to find out what was poisoned. So it would go to stand that the original poison should have gone to the youngest concubine and should have probably killed her, because being the fact that she's young and her small body and such, that it's got to be somebody that is also bullying her or wants to attribute to the bullying. Although it wasn't really gone over in this episode, Jenshi did realize, like, okay, this is an inside job, isn't it? But Jenshi is tired, and it's like, okay, he's like, I just want to, go to sleep here. He's like, the investigation has been so hard and toiling on him. He's like, please, just let me sleep. But there was some tidbit of information that was shared here. Something is up with Jenshi. He is hiding something. He has a status that is hidden. He's more important than he is led to believe. Because the fact of the matter is, that hairpin that was essentially in his head or whatever shows his true status. At least that's what Gao was saying, that you need to take care of this hairpin because it shows who you truly are. But it's like, who he truly is? What do you mean by that? So this guy's hiding something, and I don't know exactly what it is at this moment in time, but that's the whole point of a mystery type anime, if you will. It's not going to reveal everything, so much so in the first few episodes. They'll reveal it when it's important. But for some reason or another, this hairpin that he had in his head kind of shows or reveals some type of status that he is, who apparently he's more important than is led to believe, because it seems he's already important. I mean, he has a assistant, and normally the eunuchs don't have assistants and are not put in such important tasks as Jenshi is. So I look forward to waiting to see how it's revealed who he is, or like how important he is, because honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if he's not a eunuch. Like the way that they keep going off, the way that he keeps having his own mannerisms and treats with girls and stuff, it wouldn't surprise me if it was like, surprise, technically I'm not a eunuch. That definitely would not surprise me at all. The secret of the hairpins might have been kind of revealed. Honestly, Maomao was given the idea, or given the implication that she can use the hairpins to get away and to get out of the palace. But that's all she thought it was, like as a way for someone to vouch for her to get out of the palace. But to me, it sounded like, isn't that meaning that you're going on a date with whomever it is that you had the hairpin with? Like they offered up as in like, please go out with me. But then it came to pass, it's like, wait, Maomao has 4 hairpins. 2 of them were from the other concubines, and one was from Jenshi, and then another one was from the military officer. Now I can understand the military officer and Jenshi like giving it like, oh, go out with me, let's, you know, talk more. I think the ladies or the concubines that gave the hairpins to her, it may not necessarily be like a whole date, if you will, but maybe they're able to kind of have like, I don't know, a tea party or a way to like kind of like, hey, let's take a break and talk with each other, you know, like girl mingle, if you will. And that's pretty much the most I can get out of it, because it was actually kind of hilarious when she finally Maomao was actually able to get out of the palace, that when the concubine tells Jenshi, yeah, she left with a man and it was trying to act like she's never coming back, the expression on Jenshi's face was priceless. I mean, look at this. When she purposely said like, oh, Maomao left with someone, to imply like she's never coming back. But then after he makes his face, it's like, haha, psych, she'll be back in a few days. And it was absolutely just done so marvelously. Now, of course, from his expression, he's actually falling for Maomao. I mean, it's one thing when Maomao showed her true face and how beautiful she is, and then on top of that, revealed to him at the garden party how she was kidnapped and how, you know, all the, I guess, bad stuff that's happened to her in her life, that he just kind of felt pity on her and just felt bad. And that's when he gave her his hairpin. And of course, she was like, what is this supposed to mean? Now, we're starting to actually see this guy is really falling for her. And because she treats him utterly different than everyone else. And it's just so marvelous how, you know, he thinks he's all that and all the girls treat him one way because, you know, his looks, and he uses it as a weapon. He uses his looks as a weapon, which truly is a weapon, because the emperor has him employed in one way that if there is a girl out of line that's supposed to be a concubine for the emperor, but then falls prey to his looks and is not true to the emperor, then they're out of there. So he is actually a weapon, a tool for the emperor on top of all the other things he does. So now that he's worried about Maomao and what happens to her and what she does and stuff, he's actually falling for her, which you can kind of slowly see the relationship budding. Now, Maomao definitely does not feel the same way. You know, she's like revolted just by him. Now, I think Maomao respects him like as a friend, acquaintance type deal, but he is slowly seeing that the fact that we could see he is actually starting to really like her more and more, which I think is actually pretty cute. The one girl that really doesn't want him is the one that he truly is wanting in the first place. So I don't know if he's truly a eunuch or not, but you know, maybe he is, maybe he's not, but we'll see what happens in the future on that. Regardless, Maomao was able to get back home, was able to meet her dad, which she had called Gramps at times. So I don't know, I guess it's her grandfather that she calls her dad. I don't know, it hasn't really been explained as far as her family tree and such, and it's actually been very secretive about her mother, other than the fact that they're connected to the brothel. But the key is, the one underlying tip was the very last line of this episode, which is like, wait a minute, what do you mean by that? Was this line. Dude was saying after Maomao's sleep and everything, realizing that she is at the rear palace, which apparently is actually not far from where they live. Like, she got kidnapped and was pretty much taken a few blocks away, and not like not necessarily like super far away. It's just like, oh, we captured you, here you go. The real palace is literally like blocks away from where she lives. And here it is. He's like, the rear palace, what a twist of fate. Which is like, what do you mean by that? So does the fact that she's back at the rear palace mean that she had an ex-family member at the rear palace before? Like, was her mother from the rear palace? Like, what do you mean by that? Especially when this is the very last line of the episode. That definitely means this is more important than it might originally thought. So we shall see. Now, of course, do not forget, we still have the mystery of who is poisoning stuff and who is sending these secret messages. We have no idea. I will say that the preview for the next episode does show a lot of like action and stuff happening, and maybe we'll finally be able to find out and get revealed who is behind all the poisoning and such. But I will say this arc, if you will, is actually pretty interesting, because no longer is it like episodic, like here's a mystery, here's how it's solved. It's actually like done over time. So I'm actually surprised and wanting, awaiting to see how this gets resolved. And will they go back to like the episodic stuff, or is it still gonna be something underlying for more in the future? We shall see, because I will say this anime, I love it. It's definitely a hit, and maybe even a sleeper hit this season, because I don't think it's as popular as some other ones, but every episode has been amazing and I love it. Tell me what you guys think in the comments down below, because we'll definitely go over more of this anime in the future and as each episode comes out. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this analysis and hopefully open your eyes to some things that you might have missed. Aside from that, you guys be safe, take care, and Lord willing, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now. Make sure to check out the extra content on our Patreon page, and thanks to our current patrons.
This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon.